There was a question to people. See, at the time that I left down there, the questions were coming up, and it says, "What stump the authors?" or something like that on the and I haven't seen a computer since, so I don't know what kind of questions they threw in.
Oh, that reminds me. It was Mike Gehring that said to ask you about. Well, I asked you this yesterday, but about some of the stories with your passengers that you've flown around Baja.
The passengers that I have flown?
Yeah, any interesting stories? Well, like you were telling me the one about transporting a body.
Oh, about it. Well, this was this particular flight. I think I mentioned it in the book. There was a compadre of mine had an outboard engine and a toolbox, and in San Ignacio, he needed moved out to Abadiojos very badly, huh? And I fly out to Abadiojos and kick his engine and his toolbox out. And when I'm there, a guy came up and says, "Look, I don't remember the guy's name. He was probably a Vicencio Arce, but had died there at Abadiojos, and said, we got to transport the body back to San Ignacio. Could you do that in your airplane?" And I said, "Yeah, I suppose so. I can do that." And he said, "Well, Jimmy, we're a little short of cash, but can we give you a sea turtle to pay for it?" Yeah, so I've got outbound, I got an outboard motor and a toolbox. Inbound, I'm carrying a dead Mexican and a live sea turtle.
Was that your most unusual passengers or cargo that you ever hauled? Especially all at once, too.
Well, I used to fly a guy, his name was Castellanos, Hugo Castellanos, who was a bit of a scammer, and the way he made his living was going around from pueblo to pueblo and staging cockfights, huh? Particularly, he'd bring his champion cocks in, and he'd challenge the local ones, and there'd be a lot of betting and so forth. And I flew Hugo and his cocks around quite a bit, all these roosters. That was an unusual cargo. And I think the most insane thing that I ever did was haul a slaughtered sheep, bighorn sheep. I smuggled this bighorn sheep head back to the States for a guy. But he offered too much money. I had to do it. I don't think I had any concept of risk that was involved either. Oh man, they'd have busted me on that one. I'd still be shooting gun or beans back to me with a shotgun, you know.
Living down here all this time, what have you learned about life from the Mexicans?
How to relax. That it's not all that important. I just spent a week in the States and they drove me out of my gourd up there. The minute I came across the border, it went away. Yeah, how to relax, how to roll with it. How to you see what's important to the American is not important to the Mexican. And I guess in the divine scheme of things, I don't know who's right and who's wrong, but I like the Mexican system better. People cry about corruption in Mexico. After you get a while, you know how much more you to pay to a guy. First off, you know how to avoid it. And this old Yankee thing of millions for defense, but not one cent for tribute, it doesn't make sense to you after a while, you know. You learn to skate on these deals. And what, $10 for Mordida when it was going to cost you a day of your time? Go for it, you know. And on your local area, once you get to know everyone, they're going to, they know they can't bite you. They're biting the people passing through they don't know. So it makes good sense to me. I see on the Amigos board all the time is how to handle yourself at the checkpoints, you know. Oh, those little Oaxaca kids, you know, they're petty. They're so easy to handle. And I hear all of these horror stories about they stole my flashlight at the checkpoints, you know. Come on. You get out of the car and you say, son, what's on your mind? He's going to tell you. And, you know, he's not there because he wants to be. He wants to be back in Oaxaca or wherever he came from, so in San Luis Potosí. And he's not out there by choice, but he's going to make the best of it. But I never had any problem with those kids, the kids in the Army. I never had any problems with them. But I I just read all these horror stories on the board, you know.
Yeah, hard to believe sometimes, aren't they?
You know, the guy he did this one thread on there, my trip to hell, huh?
Remember that one?
You know, and when he gets down to the bottom, I mean, this guy does a volume on this stuff. From the time he left his house and wherever till the time he got back, and his inconvenience and when his trip to hell was, he had a flat tire, and he got bit by some no-see-ums. This is an adventure. It depends on which end of the telescope you're looking down, come out to you.
Okay. Well, that's anything else you want to add, Jimmy, that I haven't asked?
I can't think of a thing.
No, I think we got everything.
I just hope you got some good footage out of it, that's all.
I got plenty of footage.